Right, hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV and welcome to a new video that isn't for once a Redmond Roundup. I am rating Liverpool's transfer window 1 out of 10. I wish the scale was a little bit smaller so I could be a little bit more generous to my football club, but this summer just has not been the one, I'm not going to lie to you. And also, if you didn't know, water is wet and the sky is blue, and it's just a joke the way Liverpool repeatedly keep having these underachieving transfer windows, so I'm assuming you can guess where this is going. But before we do get into the video, I want to know your favourite transfer window of all time. I think mine, in terms of the lifetime that I've been alive for, up there is when we signed Alisson for Fabinho, and we nearly signed for Kia, but we also signed Naby Keita. I just think with the intent after losing the Champions League final to go out and buy them players that we definitely needed, I think that was probably the more, and especially in hindsight, one of the better transfer windows that we've had under FSG, but that was, of course, around the time we sold Coutinho. So regardless what team you support, let me know yours in the comments down below. Now, how do we judge a transfer window when you are giving it a rating? Now, the way I want to judge it is simply by doing this. Firstly, did you improve the areas that you needed to improve in? And secondly, did you get rid of all the deadwood? These are very, very important factors when it comes to judging a transfer window. And the things that you should ignore is stuff like contracts, because I know that we've had a lot of contract deals done within this space of the transfer window, but you can get them done at any time during the season. It obviously affects the money and stuff like that, but either way, you can do a contract whenever, so that's not going to be taken into consideration in this video. So I want to start off with the players that we've let go first. I'll have the names of the players that we've let go on the screen right now and for the prices that we sold them for. But I just think that, we'll start off with the pros of looking at the players that we've let go. It's good to see players like Shaqiri, Harry Wilson, Marco Grujic. I felt like they were players that just had to go. First off, they were, what do you class as deadwood? It's players who don't get used by the manager. I would say them three players were players that just weren't going to be involved in the system. Does Harry Wilson help us? Maybe, but I don't think he's ever going to be a first team choice. I think Harvey Elliott's better. I think Curtis Jones is better. And we also needed to get funds for them while we could. But these just weren't huge assets to the club, and we needed to sell them while we could. So while we did do that, I'd say that's maybe the pros, that we got rid of most of the deadwood that we needed to. Now, I've got many more cons to add to this list because I just couldn't think of many pros. So we should have got that 50 million for Gini Wijnaldum alone. The fact we let Gini Wijnaldum go for free just kind of tells me that that's not good business. What do you define as good business? It's not letting a player that you bought for 25 million, was valued at 30 or 40, and then he's gone for free. I just think that's wrong. This is a player that has had a crucial part to our team, and now will have a crucial part of PSG's success. You could also argue as another con that we could have got more money for the likes of Harry Wilson and Shaqiri if we sold them at an earlier date, say last season. Another con is that Origi and Loris Karius and these type of players are still at the club, so even though we've offloaded most of the deadwood that we needed, and bear in mind, people, deadwood is a bad thing within a club. You don't want to build up deadwood because it takes over like foreign player places, so players who aren't homegrown, essentially. It takes up them places, but also it takes up wages. It takes up unnecessary spots in the squad. You just don't want players to want to be at a club just for purposes of money. And we've still got a few of them players. And lastly, the last one that I want to say is we didn't replace the likes of Shaqiri or Harry Wilson with an adequate replacement, and that's a problem. If you're going to get rid of squad depth, make sure you bring in squad depth. And it's easy to say, oh, we got Harvey Elliott, but Harvey's been playing blimmin' midfield for us instead of right wing. So realistically, our only attackers is Mane, Firmino and Salah, and then Jota and Minamino as your backups. Are they good enough? I don't know. So they're the sort of pros and cons, in my opinion, and let me know what I've been wrong about. But I really did want to try and be balanced in this argument, but I am struggling to find any pros to what we done in that transfer window. Now let's talk about the players in. The good thing about the players in that we brought, which by the way I won't need a list for because it was just Ibrahima Konate, man like Ibu. The good thing about that was we needed a young quality backup centre-back who is European proven, that can come into this team if a Virgil van Dijk or a Joel Matip ends up injured and can make an impact. Can Konate make an impact? Of course he can. Also, he's young, which is another box that is ticked, in my opinion. And lastly, he suits the high-line system that Liverpool like to play. For all them reasons, that is a good signing from FSG and for Liverpool as a whole. But the first con that I want to mention is that FSG had to make this signing. There's no too shiny shite about it. At the end of the day, we should have got a centre-back last summer when we let go of Dejan Lovren, and we saw that ended up fucking us in the arse when it got to last season, and possibly hindered our chances of pushing City just a little bit further. They were so good last season. You can't always expect to stay one-on-one with City, but without or with another centre-back option, not having to play Fabinho in midfield, or sorry, take him from midfield and play him at centre-back, I think that would have benefited us massively. At the end of the day, you can't congratulate owners who do something they're supposed to do. You don't congratulate your child for cleaning a room that they messed up. Another con that I want to add is this is just another transfer window wasted with Jurgen Klopp. We have got the best manager, at least top 3, or no, top 2 in world football, no doubt about it, in current time. And we are wasting every single given year. Don't get me wrong, Klopp has done amazing by getting a Premier League and a Champions League. But the fact of me knowing that we could have 2 Champions Leagues and 3 Premier Leagues, which we could if you give this manager the right investment, if you give him squad depth, we probably would have won that Champions League final that we lost against Real Madrid if we have an adequate replacement for Mohamed Salah. But we didn't. We had Adam Lallana, who had many injury problems himself and isn't a right winger, and he was the one who came on the pitch, and then we just had no threat going forward. These are problems, and when you talk about Liverpool wanting to get back onto the pedestal, we got back on there for a second, but the reason why we never stayed on there is because we never invested. Another con, we're a sell-to-buy model, so therefore that means we need to sell players to bring them in. We bought Kanate at the start of the window for 35 million, cooped up 50, and then we still never went out and bought another player, not even a £10 million player, £15 million player. We just thought, nah, we'll sit on our ass and we'll keep this dough for whatever reasons only FSG know. A sell-to-buy system, and yet you still don't buy in players. Makes no sense. Anyway, lastly, not to mention the rivals that have been spending this summer. You've always got to take that into consideration. You can't lie. Manchester United literally just went out and bought a Cristiano Ronaldo because they thought Manchester City could have swooped in for that deal. Don't say to me Liverpool shouldn't act accordingly when they see their rivals doing business. We should do business as they do business, or that should at least get involved with the thinking process. Do we believe we've got a better squad than Manchester United before Varane, Sancho, Ronaldo? Possibly. Now with them additions, it's at least evens it a lot more than maybe what we would think. Any defence of this window is, a lack of a better term, embarrassing to me. I think there's nothing that justifies the lack of activity in this window. Not even bringing in a Saul who ended up going out on loan to Chelsea. If you don't want to spend money, try and do smart business like that, and you didn't even do that. Another argument that's thrown my way, well, James, we're not going to be like Chelsea and City by getting Haalands and Mbappes. I'm not asking for Haalands and Mbappes. It'd be nice, and we should be able to get them players, but at the end of the day, that's not what I'm asking for. I'm very sure if we just got a Patson Zaka, who Leicester City ended up getting, a friggin' Saul who Chelsea got on loan, and Kanate as well, that's a more respectable transfer window, because you've bolstered your squad. You've gave yourself the best possible chance going forward to go ahead and win trophies, but you don't when you don't go out and invest. And it isn't just this window, it's every window. Pandemic or no pandemic, Champions League or no Champions League, it doesn't fucking matter. But then you have everyone saying, oh, but we'll spend big next summer, so it's okay. It's okay, it's a load of bollocks, you know what I mean? This war chest that I've been saying has been coming next year. Well, how long is a year? Because it's not 1,000 days. And it's amazing to buy bargains like Gini Wijnaldum for 25 million and Sadio Mane for 34 million. But if you're keeping all these players until they've got no resale value and you're not going to extend their contract at the right time and they're just going to go for free, then what's the fucking point in Michael Edwards even being here? He might as well leave. I mean, I've got external reasons as well to why I don't like FSG, and the reasons like the ticket prices and the furlough and many, many more things, the Super League. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about me rating this transfer window out of 1 to 10. And before I do, I'll just sum it up in a few words. Spineless, weak, pathetic, unambitious, and embarrassing. Just a few words, to say the least. Out of 10, I'm probably going to say a 3 out of 10. I think it was a disgraceful transfer window, and I don't even know where them 3 ratings has came from. Probably every one of them ratings is to do with Kanate, but again, you should have got a centre-back last summer. So I don't want this video to be a video of me disrespecting man like Ibu, Because Ibu is sick, and I know he's going to have a sick Liverpool career. I'm very, very confident of it with all of my fucking heart. But have we gave ourselves the best possible chance of winning silverware this season? I don't think we have, and I want to know your thoughts in the comments down below. People, I've gave it a 3 out of 10. Get yours in there as well. Make sure that you smash a like if you enjoyed the video. I wanted to end this with smiles and happiness, but instead, it ended with tears and sorrow and darkness anyway. Subscribe to James Redmond TV if you enjoyed the content and you want to join the Redmond army. And like I said, smash a like because it means more than you think. Anyway, peace out, people.